doing amazing wherever you are in the world. I decided to make this video in honor of three of my fur kids that have transitioned throughout the years, but the last two were kind of back to back, and they happened after my husband died. So I'm going to show you their pictures, and if you are a fur mommy or daddy, and you definitely understand that cats and dogs or whatever you have, they're not like outside pets, they're family, and like you would go back for them if there was a natural disaster. You wouldn't leave without them because they're family. So this is just a quick story time regarding the three that have already transitioned. I'm gonna flip the camera so you can see. Okay, we'll start with this little girl. No, we should start at the beginning. My husband and I went. He was here, and I still feel the same way. Like we didn't celebrate any type of holidays. Our birthdays were in the same month. We got married in the same month, so we felt that that was enough, like celebration, if that makes sense. We got married March 22nd. My birthday is March 2nd, and his birthday is March 17th. So to have all that going on, that was enough for us. And we always felt like every day was a present or a gift. It's a blessing, a blessing. So, anyways, back to the topic. So I don't want to stay on here too long. Um, Magick Moon Martinez. She was the first one that I ever adopted from the shelter. My husband gave me $100 and said, you can go get whatever you want. Because we really wasn't into that gift exchange thing. It wasn't a big deal. So I believe the December 12th, I went to the local shelter. At first, I tried to adopt one through Petco, and that turned out to be a disaster. So I said, no, I don't want this to be a stressful time. I want it to be a beautiful, memorable time. So I went to the shelter in Palm Springs, the old shelter, not the new shelter. So I went there looking for a forever kid, basically. So I walked down the aisle and I didn't see anyone that I liked. So I went back to the front and I said, I'm not going to leave here empty handed. Greetings. Kindly be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 500. So I went back, and one of the older cats grabbed the back of my shirt. And I really didn't like cats to begin with. I was terrified of them. So when the one grabbed me from the back, I was like, definitely not you. But I believe that it was meant for me to circle back and look back in the same little cage to pick out Magick, because I didn't see anyone when I first went into the to where the cats were. I didn't see anybody in there, and I really did want a black cat, an all black cat. So I ended up getting Magick, and she came to the front. She was so small, she was so adorable. I absolutely adored her, and I said, this is the one. And we adopted her at 4 months old. She transitioned. That's why I kind of want to start over there with Solara, because she transitioned first. But I'm just going to go in the order that we adopted her. So, but she transitioned. I really don't remember the day or the month, because my husband died November 30th, 2021, and 2022 she either died sometime late January or early February. It just happens when you lose someone that you love very, very, very much. You kind of forget shit, basically. Um, Greetings, money. I would appreciate if you like, share, and subscribe. I am trying to get to 500 subscribers. So Magick, she transitioned sometime early 2022, either in late January, sometime in February. It definitely was not in March, because I definitely would have remembered. So the following year, and I still love Magic very, very much. I miss her. Um, we got Chowdies, which is Chowder. He is the fancy pants of the family. He was the sweetest ginger I have ever known. The sweetest ginger, like a cat. He was the sweetest one. So it was August 18th, 2010, a year after we got Magic. I went to go get a boy cat so we could have basically a first son. And we were building our family because my husband and I, we couldn't have children of our own. We couldn't procreate. So I said, well, I still want to be a mommy. So we decided to go with cats, you know. So we got Chowdies. Like I said, I believe it was October 18th. Um, the following year, which is 2010, but he recently passed away on July 1st, 2025. So, yes, I am very sad about that because my family is dying off. So, um, next is Solara. Solara didn't have a middle name, so we just called her Little Mamas because when we got her November 11th, 2011. It's like the day after Veterans Day. Whenever Veterans Day is, that's the day we brought her home. And she was so adorable for a whole year. Like I said, this was 2011. If you guys remember that movie Orphan, um, well, a year later, after we didn't fell in love with her, we find out she's a whole senior citizen cat. Like, we can't make this shit up. I took her to the vet twice because the second time she started to have seizures. And I said, what in the hell is wrong with this little kitten? Like, so I take her to the vet, not knowing that the vet was going to tell us that, oh no, she's not a kitten. She most likely was the runt of the family, but she is definitely a senior citizen. So they started to show me her gums and her teeth. And she's like, well, this is a good indication the next time you decide to adopt, a fur kid, a cat, dog, whatever you get. Doesn't matter what the person tell you, unless you're there when that dog or cat is born, check their gums, check their teeth. If their teeth are all like they've had them for a while, they're not a kitten. So our time with Solara was cut in half, and like they're absolutely all three are my favorites. So I didn't have any favorites, but they're favorite in their own special way. Solara was the only one. This little girl, she was the only one that let me put clothes on her. She was the only one that would let me bathe her like in the sink, like you would bathe a newborn baby. Like she got special treatment. I'm not big on brand names, so please don't get it twisted. But she's wearing a little Tommy Bahama dress. Like Solara knew that she had me wrapped around the finger. Whatever she wanted, that little girl got. I'm telling you, you might as well set your clock to it. 5:30 in the rising, she was up and ready to eat every single day. I was so grateful when my husband was on like a night shift, like he would call it graves. I was happy when he was on graves because we could take turns feeding them because she wanted to eat at 5:30. Chowder wanted to eat around 9 or 10. Magic really didn't care as long as she was eating. She didn't really care. So Solara, she transitioned. I have to think back, but it was like 20 2018, sometime in 2018, Solara died. So, and we ended up adopting one more who is Luna, and I wanted her. She was never a replacement of Solara. She was never a replacement. It's just when somebody sends me a picture of someone in need, I try to empathize with her or them, whoever it is. And she was on death row. Like, if I wouldn't have taken her in, Luna would not be alive today. So, anyways, she made it in. So that's how I know She made it in 2019. Had Luna needed a place to live in 2020, she wouldn't have come here. So I know I got her in 2019. So Solara must have transitioned in sometime in 2018. So those are our three fur kids, and this video is dedicated to Magick, Chowder, and Solara Martinez. But it's also dedicated, if you can see between that orange cat right here, there's two little tiny crystal turtles. There's one here and there's one there to the left of the little statue. So their names were Dude and Squirt. And one of my local friends, I haven't seen her in some time now because of the pandemic, but she was the one that gave me the names of the turtles, because there wasn't just turtles, they were going to be tortoises as they continued to grow up. So but Magick, Chowder, and Solara, they were our family of five. And now it's a family of two because it's just myself and Luna. And when I brought Luna home from San Bernardino, my husband, like, he really didn't want any more cats. That's like someone saying, I don't want any more children. But I said, I didn't have a choice, Henry. I didn't have a choice. They were going to put her down if I didn't go get her. So no, I'm not a cat hoarder. I would never be that. It's just I saw her, and people were like, look, my local friends, they were sending me pictures of like, all these various cats, and they kept saying, oh, she's little like Solara. When I tell you Solara was like Velcro, I would sit over here in this chair behind me, and she would climb up there, and she would sit on my shoulder. She would climb down and sit on my chest. That was just what it was. It didn't matter if I was eating over here or whatever. She just literally didn't care. So, but this is my family, and everybody's gone, but I am so grateful. I show gratitude that I still have Luna. So again, this is just for people who are pet parents or thinking about pet parents, and you lose your entire family. That's all that you have. You know, that's all. That's literally all that you have is what you have. And my husband and I, we made the best of it. We made the best of an ugly situation, because I was diagnosed late in life with endometriosis and adenomyosis, and I had so much scar tissue and adhesions, and I was just literally physically tired. I couldn't do it anymore. So after that last surgery, I ended up having a hysterectomy or partial hysterectomy, and it was still so painful. So they went back and got my ovaries, because it was just too painful. So, like I said, we made an ugly situation into a beautiful situation, and so this is where I keep my fur kids pictures. My husband and I were up there too. I'm working on something for Luna Bear, because I really don't have a really good picture of her yet. And she's been here since 2019. It's just, she's very shy, she's very quiet. So again, this video is dedicated to Magick Moo Martinez, Chowder Fancy Pants Martinez, and Solara Martinez. And of course, my two turtles that have also transitioned. So what the future holds after all of these great losses, I have no idea. And my mother and I, we're right here on the far left beside the mermaid. I took that picture sometime after 1996 when I lived on the East Coast, and I ended up accidentally getting it basically developed twice. But anyways, back to the topic of the video. Kindly adopt, don't shop, because people spend all this money on, like, I mean, it's their money, they can do whatever, but there are so many beautiful fur kids, I'm talking about gorgeous ones, at the shelter, and sometimes people need to rehome them And it's like, will you take them in, or will you just say, nah, I don't want that dog. I want to go spend $2,000 on a dog or a cat, or whatever the case is. I will always miss them, and they will always be in my heart. And the last gift that I gave to Magick, Chowder, and Solara, I promised them that they would never die alone. I would be there when they take their last breath, and I held them until they were no longer here. And like I said, this is also for people who are from my past, I guess, those who, when I used to be on social media, meaning like Facebook and stuff, some of those people are sub to this channel. So, well, that's it for this story time. Just kindly adopt, don't shop. There, I would have never known. At first, they told me Solara was a boy, like on her little name tag, or inside her little pod, it said Stevie, and I said, is that his name, Stevie? And like, I never really liked that name, but they were like, yeah, and I was like, okay, and Stevie is a boy? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, okay. So I go home and I'm telling my husband, yeah, we're gonna get a little boy, another boy. And Henry was like, no, 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 we can't have we can't have two boys at the same time because they're gonna be aggressive towards the only female. And I'm new to this, so I didn't know the difference. So I said, okay. But then when I took her to the vet, I told him, I said, yeah, I'm just here for, Stevie's visit. But we were going to give Stevie a new name anyways. And she was like, it's like Stevie Nicks. I said, I don't know. That's just the name that they gave the boy. And she was like, the lady was like, well, first, this isn't a boy. This is a female cat. And I said, what? So it's a lot of laughs, and it's only sad because they are no longer here. Anyways, I want to show gratitude to everybody that showed up and commented and liked the video. I am trying to reach 500 subscribers, so you liking this video and possibly sharing it, of course, and subbing to the channel helps my channel out tremendously. You guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday and have an amazing week ahead. Whatever you're going to do next week, this week, make sure it's grand.